Hello, my mutables. How are you? Mutable signs in astrology. We're taking a look at you for the full moon in Aries. Also known as the Hunter's Moon. Great song by Ghost. You should go look it up. Might even put it down below. Big fan, big supporter. Saw him a few weeks ago. Blew my mind as a musician. Oh, hell. Here we go. The mutable signs. What makes you mutable? And by the way, what makes you so special? Who wants to be mutable? Nobody puts baby in a corner. That's not what this is about. No, mutable is kind of that sneaky but sure way of just letting you get away with anything while we kind of have some fun. That's kind of how I can explain being a mutable sign. We can draw boundaries like the best of them. We can initiate if we want to. But we come up with the dreamers. We're the dreamers. We're the shakers. We are the music makers. Are we not, Willy Wonka? So the mutables actually form the grand cross of Sagittarius to Gemini, Virgo to Pisces. Are you guys getting this yet? It's a big cross in each one of these. You know me, and those of you that have been associated with this channel for a while know that I find new ways to teach things. So here we go. Here's what we're showing. So Sagittarius as a mutable and Virgo as a mutable and Gemini is mutable. Pisces is immutable. Doesn't mean that you don't say anything. It's just you let things roll off your back because you are the ones that make creation. Mutable, fixed, cardinal. They're all important to the energy. Where you're important here, mutables, it's because you are able to be the dreamers. The ones that say, you know, it'd be a good idea. You know, you can say what you want, but if it wasn't for the mutable signs, there would be no platypus. That's all I'm going to say. Sometimes you got to ask, what if? Right? Ugh, it's all good, guys. It is all good in the hood. I'm just going to make sure that my volume's up to the right level. Holy Toledo, have I had some challenges with this. This is what happens when you get really good equipment, and then you talk off mic. I'm getting better at it, though. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll turn this into a headset, and I'll just be walking around with this thing bouncing off my nose the whole time. I know you guys will watch it for a whole host of reasons. That'll be one of them. How many times does he take a mic to the face? Awkward. But I'm a Pisces, so I say crazy and dreamy things and get us there. So the application of this is for what you're going to experience in each one of the mutable signs for sun, moon, and rising. Apply it at will. To the full moon in Aries. This is a tough moon, guys. Reason being is because Aries, they're kind of hard asses, right? Unless some of you are masquerading as a sun, moon, rising counterpart, the Aries aren't here. Let's talk about them for a second. As a moon, Aries is kind of hard emotional energy. It's also kind of like if I'm not getting what I want, I'm going to absolutely rip this from your face and go home. It also loves deep, though. It's also in the first house, which is self-presence, it's self-preservation, it's self-understanding. I get it now. I get it. I didn't understand it for a long time myself. Even as I looked into astrology, I get it. Sometimes you got to look out for a numero uno in order to build yourself to become the best version of yourself. Now, the other astrological events that are going on right now, not only is it a full moon, but just before the full moon, Pluto goes direct. Yay! How about we do a little crowd cheer for that one? I have nothing to do with it, guys. Calm down. Calm down. But Pluto, although goes direct, does no good to the moon because it squares up with it. It basically turns it around and just goes, yeah, no. And by the way, it's kind of a double dose of Mars action or of Aries action because Mars is in opposition to the full moon. So here you have like this double Aries energy of saying, like you're surrounded by this Aries energy. And as a mutable, we don't like to fight. We're the lovers. We're not the fighters. We want to kind of sing Kumbaya. We want to say everything, every little thing, it's going to be all right. We don't want the fight. We don't want the argument. We are the 3, 6, 9, 12 houses, right? Mutables, begin to recognize and understand how this has to go. And by the way, whenever you talk about the element signs, in other words, mutable, fixed, cardinal, you always start with a fire sign. Do you want to know why you always start with a fire sign? You just ask a fire sign, then you'll understand why they're always first. Hey, how you doing? But it's in there somewhere. So as we approach this, of course, we've got our Merkaba table. By the way, take a look at my crystals here. Some beautiful, beautiful stuff. I'm getting some very reasonably priced, high-quality crystals from Crown Crystals. Click on the link below. Help out my channel by going there. If you're into crystals, go ahead and buy it. Use my code BRANR10. That gives you 10% off. Helps the channel. Helps keeps the dream alive. Teamwork makes the dream work. We're going to be using the Gilded Tarot. As you guys know, it's one of my favorites of all time. I'll switch it out over time, but I love this deck. I really do. And then, of course, the secret language of animals. I chose this for two reasons. First of all, because Aries is ruled by Archangel Ariel, who is the patron saint of all things animal, nature, Gaia, abundance, right? So part of the reason why I choose that deck, I'm going to put this here so you guys can see it, maybe. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. I can kind of go like that. Anyways, if you buy more of them, I can get a bigger screen. So, little guilt trip there. 12th house guilt trip. 10 to 2. It's where you keep your hands on the wheel. Anyways, support the channel in any way you want. If you want to become a member, hey, by the way, I'm just going to do this real quick. Take a look at the types of things that I give away, give out randomly to one of my members. And then also I've got this Libra stuff with my new friend. She's got a sign company. It's really cool. And if you like the way I talk about tarot, you're going to love the way I teach it, guys. If y'all... the tarot class, oh gosh, this is the last thing I want to see. What happened to everything that I had right here? It's because it's right here because I moved it. Ta-da! I'm a work in progress, everybody. It's part of the fun of being a Pisces. By the way, mutables tend to not take things personally, except for Virgo. But that's the earth side of them, right? Most of them are kind of go with the flow, kind of like, hey, I'm always up for a good time. And then Virgo sits there and goes, I'm up for a good time so long as I'm in control. The quiet dominatrix OCD of the astrological chart has showed up here in the mutables. But as we take a look at this, we're going to work with our Merkaba table. We're going to take a look at the overall energy for each one of the signs, and then we're going to take a look at the mind, the body, and the spiritual path of it. We're going to roll out just a few cards for each one of them because I really think that the explanation here is self-explanatory. I see a lot of great tarot readers out there, and then they fill the table, and you're just like, what the fuck? What did I just look at? These are clear, simple, and concise, right? So pay attention to the full moon. I hope you get your crystals ready. By the way, you don't want to get your crystals wet. This time of the year, it's kind of sneaky. You're like, oh, I'll just leave my crystals out there. And then you pull in your selenite the next day, and it's like, what? Great piece of selenite right here. There's another one of my friends right here. I'm going to put this guy right here. He's looking back at you, at the eye in the sky, Alan Parsons. Looking at you, I can read your mind. Not really. Anyways, members enjoy a free message circle every month, just members only. For a couple hours, we talk about spirit. By the way, if you upgrade up into the mentorship program, I hold mentorship events where you get to pick my brain and I share my tools with you. I've coached over 1,000 people in the spiritual businesses, and now I'm kind of putting myself first. It's kind of a thing. All right, guys, we're going to bless our time together. This is the part where I got to go off mic, and you guys, you're just going to have to trust me. I'm not making stuff up. All right, guys, we're going to bring in our bright light. We're going to ask our guides to connect with one another as we ask for the messages to come through that we hope to receive. And we do this work in light, love, and laughter so we can become the best version of ourselves and all the work we're meant to do. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to do this work here today, because this is what I'm meant to do for the greater good and the light of the world, and I just love doing what I do. The fire department has just left. We're ready for a reading. What the freak was that? Oh, I put out the candle. That's why. I smudged out my candle. By the way, that's known as a mantra, and I actually coach people on how to do that. And for years, I've launched so many other people in the spiritual line of work, and all of them I love to death, and they all kind of do whatever it is they need to do. And then I'm like, but nobody's here to play with me. And then I said, I got all these great ideas, and instead of regenerating this, I got to a bigger platform. I'm actually putting my money where my mouth is, figuratively and literally. By the way, I'm on tour. October 15th and 16th, I'm down in Port St. Lucie. I'm going to be doing message circles. I'm also going to be doing book signings. Might even squeeze in a few readings. Contact me today. By the way, members front of the line, you guys are going to be down there. You guys got my email. Go shoot it to me. All right, guys, Sagittarius. We're going to take a look at you first and foremost. Again, remember the reason why we ask, why are the fire signs first? Just ask a fire sign, they'll tell you. That's what they do. All right, Sagittarius, let's take a look at this right here in the center square. Oh, upside down, reverse, 7 of Cups. Maybe you've had too many choices. Overwhelmed. I'm going to say this, Sagittarius. Maybe you're a little overwhelmed, but here's the reminder. The Hierophant comes out. Hierophant's is Taurus energy. It's also letting you know, maybe you got to get back down to brass tacks. Pretty basic. It's funny that I would bring up Ghost, and this very much looks like Papa 4. Just to let you know. It's the hunter's moon. Let's take a look at the back. Let's take a look at the forward. Now, here in the back, we've got the 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups is a very selfish card, guys. A lot of people think of it as, oh, it's a celebration. It is, but it's self-celebration. It's like, I'm gonna share what I want, when I want, who I want. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Because here comes 2 of Pentacles. This is about you moving forward into something where your ship is going to come in. Oh, Sagittarius. You might have too many options, but if you get practical, the tide is right. The tide is high, but I'm not going to get copyrighted claim. I love it. All right, guys, let's take a look at what the animals have to say. Oh, a lot of joy, light, flow, and companionship, compassion. Here we go. How about a little dolphin love? Yeah, there you go. Coming into focus. Got to be gentle with yourself, Sagittarius. You know, for a fire sign, you're kind of the wimp of the fire signs. I'm not going to tell you that. Aries can come in a little too hot. Leo, a little unpredictable. But Sagittarius, you're just a good time every day, ain't you? Ain't you, buddy? I like where we're going with this. Let's take a look at the mind. Oh, we've had some choices. Maybe you didn't make the right choices, or at least you're thinking you didn't make the right choices. 2 of Wands comes out here. And then the Strength card comes out. Sagittarius, you always land on your feet with positivity. Why should your reading not be any different? So here's your Strength card. A 2 plus an 8 is 10. Maybe this is a new way of looking at things. You got the Strength. By the way, you're pulling on your Leo, buddy. Right? Why wouldn't you? You know why? Because you're worthy of it. You're worthy of this. All right, here we go. Sea turtle, ancient wisdom, knowledge, new beginning, self-reliant journey home. Turtles are very ancient. You know those, don't you? Mentally, you got to go back to the old ways. Maybe you're working out some old mental anguish. Maybe you're just picking at a scab. Oh, how disgusting. Nobody likes it when you pick at scabs. Except for maybe my 11-year-old. Just take a look at what's going on in that brain of yours, or in your body of yours. Oh, change is coming here. You've been working on stuff behind the scenes. You know, you've been like, cutting out the cheese, only getting one sweet and low, making the big switches, right? That's what you're doing. I get it. I see you, Sagittarius. Wow, this card came up a lot through these readings. And here comes the 7 of Wands. Maybe you're done kind of fighting this, where you're like, I can binge for 3 days. I don't have to sleep this week. Maybe you're just kind of going, you know what? Yeah, I kind of fucking do. Yeah. See, you got a reason to live. By the way, Sagittarius, you're the most prone to addiction in the astrological chart. And again, addiction can come in a lot of different ways. Your passion and your fire is great, but sometimes you get over your skis. This Falcon. Whew. Focus, action, purpose, aspiration. Are you seeing this? Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Kind of like where we's going with this, huh? All right, spiritually. What are your experiences telling us? 8 of Cups. Maybe you're a little left out in the cold. Maybe you were kind of spiritually led astray. Maybe you thought that you were really supposed to get involved with that preacher somewhere down the road. And that preacher came to you and said, the Lord told me you were coming. And then you said, I don't think I have to pay you $10,000 to see the Lord. The Lord told me you were good for it, so let's pony up there, buddy. In this position, it's about a spiritual nonsense. Maybe you've learned a lesson because here comes the greater good. They had to tell you that story to tell you this one. Greater good, Aquarian energy coming out here. This is about you recognizing, and I do mean recognizing, your greater value to your spiritual path. Oh, how great is this going to be, huh? All right, here we go. We got the orange-bellied parrot, all about the radiance, expression, communication, and acceleration. You're getting shot out of the proverbial spiritual cannon. Could I shake that anymore? There you go, radiance, expression. You know, one of the things I really like about reading for someone like a Sagittarius is that you always land on your feet. Like you're a cat jumping out of the fourth floor, and you're like, it's so tough to watch. Sagittarius, you are so tough to watch sometimes. And then it's like, they land on their feet and they walk away, and you're like, what, huh? That's you, Sagittarius. Here you go. You know, we come in talking about the Seven of Cups upside down, which is really a tough card. I mean, that really is, especially for your center and your core. Come on. And yet you land on top by sitting here talking about your optimism. I really like it, Sagittarius. Really like where you're going with this. So the things that you can do during this full moon, all the basics. You can write a love letter to that one that got away. You can say, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm ready to change. And these are the changes I want to make. Nothing wrong with that, right? We reserve the right to change. We reserve the right to make mistakes and become something new as we find ourselves to become the best version of ourselves. I mean, if we're stuck, and if every mistake was fatal, would we ever get anywhere? I mean, there's a lot of money in pain. Watch anything like on conservative talk shows or whatever. And again, I'm not being political here, but they're always selling pain. The economy may collapse at any time. Buy our gold. The food supplies are running short. Buy our MREs and vitamins. Your PEEPS doesn't work. Your PEEPS. You know what your PEEPS is, right? Get the little blue pill for 50% off. I mean, come on. It goes for the pain. We're not about pain here. About doing the right thing. We're about having shiny crystals, though. Virgo, one of my favorites. I know what you're about, Virgo. I do. I see you and I feel you. Got to recognize timing here. I have to relight my candle. Hold on a second. Wait, hold on a second. So sorry. I need to relight my candle so I can bless our time together. Gonna give ourselves a little bit of love here. Whew. All right, guys, we're going to bring in our bright light. We're going to ask our guides to come together as we ask for the messages to come through that we hope to receive, and we do this work in light, love, and laughter so we can become the best version of ourselves and all the work we're meant to do. Thank you, guys, for giving me the opportunity to do this work here today. This is what I'm meant to do for the greater good and the light of the world. Okay, Virgo, you ready? Are you ready? Oh, the Hangman in reverse. You always have a different way of seeing things. You're just so smart. Like Virgo is incredibly intelligent. As much as I'm razzing them, they're incredibly intelligent, right? And they're able to kind of pick up on nuances and kind of go there. They don't always say anything, though. That's what makes them mutable. And then, we got some fire energy here, so properly placed. And if it's not your fault, it's not Barry White's fault. Queen of Wands comes out. This is about you finding some identity here, Virgo. This full moon, this hunter's moon, here we go. All righty. I mean, why is it that I think that a lot of people recognize Virgos as like being just a little too crabby or a little too whatever? I'm going to defend them because they can make tough choices. They are all about the tough choices. So this is like a not too recent past. It was for your better health. It was so that then you can kind of get to where it is that you need to, and then we pull out the Seven of Pentacles. You're going to reap what you sow. You've been doing some cleanup effort here, Virgo. That's what this is showing me. This is you going, I had to do it my way, but I'm going to take charge now. Queen of Wands comes out. Booyah. There we go. See what I mean? All right. Shark right here in the middle is about perception, focus, fear, and action. Nobody's going to get in your way. Right, Virgo? By the way, when the Hermit card comes out around the Virgo, it's about your spiritual guidance, your spiritual passion, about where you want to go with things. There's a bustle in your hedgerow. You're very much about taking care of your own personal body, so I want to take a look at what goes on in your mind. 7 of Wands. Whew, a lot of fire energy with this moon. Oh, look at that. It's an Aries moon. The good news is that it's right side up. The bad news is, well, it's still more good news. Temperance. This is about balance. So mentally, you got to stay within your shoes, right? You got to be able to say, like, all right, this is what's real. This isn't what's real. Don't get hung up on it. Don't get hung up on it. So Virgo, then we pull out the Caribou. Perseverance, resourcefulness, movement, determination, right? So mentally, this is about you being mentally strong. You're a little embattled. You might be your own worst enemy. You might be taking shit from other people. Not in my house, you don't. But here you are, once again, trying to kick ass and take names. Let's take a look at where we're at mentally. You just want to have a good time. You want to have a self-directed good time. This might be doing it by yourself, by the way. And when I say it, I mean insert any it you want to do by yourself. That's terrible. And we're kicked off of YouTube. The Nine of Cups comes out here, blazing glory, saying, celebrate with me. But also, here's your boundary, Virgo. A little bit of air energy still in your head. This is a reflection back to some of the mental stuff going on. So the Two of Swords really kind of talks about you saying, I'm going to be really discerning. This is a discernment placement for you physically. Oh, are you physically, like, shutting it down a little bit, going, not in this house. You ain't going here. Don't come near me. All this is for me, and it ain't for you. Well, here we go, Virgo. Polar Bear comes out. Friendship, strength, a little solitude, but resilience. Once again, resilience for you. Yeah, I really like that. So even just your animals are really talking about, the determination, the perseverance. The shark, like you are at the top of the food chain this month with this one. Big time. Big time. All right. Let's hit the spiritual path. A lot of anxiety. Should I, shouldn't I? A lot of misconceptions. This is also pulling out things out of your past. The triggers. The good news, it's right side up. The not so good news is that it's anxiety. Well, let's go ahead and lean into this and give you the Six of Pentacles. So I'm going to give you some balance here, some practical, down-to-earth balance. And then comes the Condor, the Night of the Condor, the Day of the Condor. Wasn't that a movie? Cycles, reflection, perspective, and release. Right? It's 24. It's a 6. It's about a new beginning. What's a polar bear? It's a 3. Spiritual divine work. It's a 5. It's about change. The shark is a 9. We're ending a lot of cycles here, aren't we? I'm proud of you, Virgo. I think you're growing up right in front of our eyes. I don't mean to be that guy, but here we are. You're getting better at being who you are, becoming the best version of yourself. This full moon is a really important time for you. You could speak to the harshness of this energy, right? We're a couple of ticks away from being right next to Libra, or being right next to your own sign, right? Pardon me, such terrible news. But I really like where you're going with this, Virgo. This new moon, I think, is going to be really potent for you. More than any of the other ones, because you've got like this adjacency that goes on with Aries. Because you're right next to Libra, and Libra and Aries are like, yeah, I'm on balance. And Aries is like, we're going to do what I tell you to do. Quit telling me what to do. You show up like a guy out of Brooklyn, Long Island. Oh, such a good time. Virgo, I think you're going to have a great month. So one of the other things that you can do during this full moon, by the way, some great stones, some great crystals are things like celestite. By the way, take a look at the crown crystals. They got a little bit of everything, which is what I like about them. And it's a growing, budgeting business, which I always support growing, budgeting businesses. And by the way, if you leave a comment on mine and you've got a growing page, I'm taking a look at yours. I'm going to leave a comment or two. I'm going to encourage you. Might even send you a note behind the scenes. By the way, the podcast is coming out in a couple of weeks. I think you guys are going to like this. I think I got some surprise guests. And when I say surprise guests, you're going to be like, he got that guy? And I'm going to say, yeah, I got that guy and that woman and that thing. And I'm also going to say, but don't forget the little guys along the way, the guys that are like trying to fight for it here on the intranet, the interweb. All right, Gemini, you tricky, slippery bastard, you. Did I just say that? Let's give you a little bit of heartbeat right there in the middle of it. Gemini's nervous. You're always nervous. Ton of nervous energy here with the Aries full moon. Do you know why? Because you're usually guilty. Just going to tell you that. Okay, place setter here. You feel like you've been left out in the cold, Gemini? I dropped one. Hold on. It's because you didn't do the right thing. Hierophant in reverse. Little reconciliation here as a full moon comes into another air sign, huh? In Libra, although it is in Aries. Fire sign is going to torch you here. Let's take a look at what went on before we showed up here. You might have tried something new. So listen, let's lay this out. The Hierophant is going back to some of the basics and doing the right thing. The Fool is kind of taking a chance here. Let's not slap your hand quite yet, because the truth is somewhere in the middle. Have you ever had somebody talk trash about you, and you're like, I wish I did half of that stuff? I wish I could physically do most of that stuff. Little message for you there. But Gemini, this is the tale that you're telling right now. You're kind of left out in the cold. You didn't do the right thing. You took a chance on something, but you got to come back into balance. It has purpose. Sometimes our risks fail, right? And sometimes we come at it and we like fall flat on our face, and then we're like, oh, we're failures. No. Right? And then you do the best you can and you bring it back into balance. Sometimes these are the mistakes. That's what I'm talking about with people talking about you. Like, oh, they were the fool. Can't you see that? Remember in Field of Dreams when he plowed under half of his corn? Everybody's like, you're an idiot. You're what? At least my husband isn't a horse's ass. I'm going to redo that entire movie and play every role. You Nazi cow. Anyways, will I get beeped for that? I think I might. But it was in defense of Terrence Mann, the fictional greatest writer of all time. The boat rocker. Anyways, so you took a chance. People talk trash about you, and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't learn my lesson. You could run that risk. Be like, you should have done the right thing. No, you're building a Field of Dreams right here. Gemini. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the... I'm sorry, I had to look at this twice because it was upside down. The albatross, faith, endurance, journey, and hope. You are not giving this up. By the way, oftentimes called a seagull. And I ran. I ran so far away. That only happens when you get a flock of them, though. Copyright. So what this is really kind of telling us, guys, is that, you got to keep the faith. You got some resolve coming. I wonder if it's like a business dealing. Maybe it's the faith in a person. I'll see it halfway. But let's take a look at the mind. Oh, yeah. I have a feeling you guys tried something new and you got your caught in a trap here. Knight of Cups here mentally. You're like, I'm all about the love. I'm all about doing it the right way. I'm all about the shiny new penny. By the way, the book comes out 10/10. Be available. Maybe. Nine of Pentacles comes in reverse. Wow, what does that tell us? That tells us that maybe you needed somebody else. The Nine of Pentacles is a very selfish card. Actually, most of the nines are a very selfish card. But it's also about the end of cycle. Maybe you needed to kind of call for a little bit of help. How about some calm perspective, imagination, and ease here with the koala? Right? Because we come from the land down under. Great abundance card, 44. But notice how it's an 8 in infinity, but you need to split it in two. Got to split this atom and ask for help. Maybe this is taking better care of your mental health. Maybe it's just sharing the ideas and not carrying around the burden all the time. Come on, Gemini. Let's take a look at your physical. The Hangman in reverse. Coming out twice in this reading. You tried it that way and it might not have worked because then here comes the High Priestess going, just do it the right way. I love this card for you. And I'm going to tell you why. You have the ability to show and grow, right? You really do. And I mean, at the end of the day, you have every right to take risks and chances, right? Well, here comes the Timberwolf. This is instinct, guides, belonging, in order. Physically, you got to kind of know who you are. Are you meditating? I didn't think so. Come on, Gemini. You can do it. You can do it. Let's talk about that spiritual path, and I'm going to drop the Queen of Swords right here. Oh, you're just not feeling it right now. You're not feeling it, probably because you're overwhelmed. You know why? Because here comes the Seven of Cups upright. Does that favor for us? It's too many choices. You're too overwhelmed for a spiritual path right now. You're taking care of some physical stuff. I actually think as much as we didn't have a single pentacle. But I'm going to tell you, there's something about this that's like work behind the scenes. It really is. Gemini, this is a tough reading. I'm going to call an audible here. And I'm going to go for my three sacreds here. But we're going to give one more card here to the Dolphin. This is joy, light, flow, and compassion. All right, so listen, this is a reminder for you to kind of get off the snide a little bit. Don't get so emotional or shut off your emotion. And don't feel like you have too many choices. Because then here comes the Dolphin. Go lock and load that one, baby. It's pretty all right. I got to go 3 here. You're going to come out okay. Gemini, you're going to be okay. You're the bonus this month. Listen, that means that you get down in the crowd and you come out victorious. Why not come out victorious? By the way, Wounded Warrior in reverse. You're done with the pain. You're done with the pain of being made fun of, being ridiculed, failure, whatever. Right? What did I say? There were no pentacles? 3 of Pentacles, everybody. You're working on something in secret, and that's okay. We're not gonna call you out on it. What we are going to do is encourage you to keep going. Because here's the sweet spot for you, Gemini. When you shut the world out, there ain't nobody like you. But as soon as you let those doubts creep in, ugly. You don't want it. You don't need it. Glad I was able to kind of rectify that one right there. And we're going to pull one more. Yeah, we're going to go orangutan for you. Laughter, curiosity, patience, play. If this isn't a Gemini, by the way, it kind of looks like a self-portrait. But it's about having foundation in laughter and curiosity and patience and play. He's a cute little bugger. He's available for Valentine's Day. Listen, Gemini, you are being reminded to get up and go, to not give up on yourself. You need a little more encouragement this month. I can just feel it. And listen, people are mean. They really are. Hey, listen, I want to share something about my book that's coming out here in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to be signing copies at all my events here coming up. If you want to get your own event, or you want to get your own event copy, what's wrong with me? You want to get your own event copy? You guys hear my voice going, right? Anyways, if you want to get your own signed copy, you can sign up for it. You're going to get an email, ask you who you want it to be dedicated to. Because when I get the book, I'm going to turn around, drop ship it to you, and go snail mail. It's okay. You'll get it. You'll get it in plenty of time. But I love dedicating things. And they're uplifting stories about spirit and connection with it. And one of the stories actually talks about a woman who, she was there at the time that her husband passed, and she was meant to take care of him. And It was just a beautiful story, and it was one of the few stories that I wrote in such a way where it was about them, not about me. I was just there. I was their conduit. And when I sat down with her, I basically recounted his passing through the eyes of him and how much gratitude he had, because he was out of it. He was just in an accident and whatever. Well, again, it's one of those things where when I look back at all the cool people I've met, most of them are still in my life. I've lost a few along the way. It's life, because I'm kind of an asshole Pisces. Ding, 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 ding. Sorry, did I just call myself an asshole? But they're really beautiful stories about how people come to be and how they treat their losses and their impacts and their stylistic changes in life. And the one thing about being a human on this path and pulling together things like human consumption, it's a beautiful path, man. And who is anybody to criticize it? Listen, we all got ugly moments. I open up every show by saying, we've all got stuff we're not. We just want to be like, where were you January the 8th? Where were you January the 6th? Anyways. But we all have those moments in life, and that's not what a reading's about. That's not what any of this stuff is. And I'm a little disheartened sometimes when tarot readers kind of go like, and you're evil, and this is you, and brr, 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 brr. How about a little compassion? How about a little understanding? How about a little, gravitas when it comes to not thinking that you have to judge everybody all the time? I hope you guys get this in my readings. I never judge. At least I try not to. I might use discernment. That's a thing. Especially as a medium, you got it. Got to have that. It's this, not that. All right, Pisces, sun, moon, rising. Let's hang out for a little while. Let's talk about this full moon. This full moon right next to your cousin here. By the way, you had your Pisces moon last month. And let me tell you, it was cakewalk for everybody. You just let everybody off the hook. It's what you do. Right? It's kind of like, full moon. I love the full moon. It's a harvest moon. It's the loaves and the fishes, right? It's the loaves and the fishes. Well, Pisces, this Aries moon is just going to be like a prize fight, right? Or you might catch a little magic. My regards. All right, guys, let's take a look at the center square. He was one happy kind of guy when it's not in reverse. 4 of Wands drops its pants right on you. Woo-hoo. Why not have a double 4 here? I'm going to see this as a positive. So you're hanging on to stuff. So there's a lack of happiness, and maybe you're holding on a little too tight. Maybe you should hang on loosely. But don't let it go. Don't let it go. Because then here comes the 5 of Cups. 4, 4, 5. I'm paying attention. The 5 of Cups comes out. Lack of happiness, loss, and dismayed. But where are you going to? 2 of Pentacles. So how about a twofer? Your ship's coming in. Maybe this is an idea of going towards a financial thing. Maybe it's loosening up the purse strings to get yourself to where it is that you need to. Whatever this is, Pisces, it's an unhappiness. And by the way, when you take a look at the energy across the board of all of these tarot readings that are going on right now, Pisces is getting the crap kicked out of them. But because you're about to go through a major change, major change. All right, guys, let's talk about this right here. Creation, destruction, beginning, expression. Sometimes you got to tear it down to build it up again. Fire. Yeah, she's a fire girl. Fire. My regards, Ian Asbury. So, right here in the center, right out of the gate, you gotta dig down deep. You gotta dig down deep, Pisces. This is how we're gonna roll. Mentally. Here comes the sun. Ba-ba-dum-bum. Mentally, you're probably in a good place. The sun and the moon. By the way, the moon's in reverse. Maybe you're hiding shit. Sorry, Pisces, called you out on it. Maybe you're in a position where you're like, I'm just not ready for the way. Is the world ready for me? There it is. Maybe it's not that you're hiding something. Maybe it's you're hiding your talents. Maybe it's that you're hiding the idea that you're just not, you're not ready for your success. Reminds me a little bit of Janie Lane, who hid his talents for a long, long time, right? All right, how about a little jellyfish? Ever since the day. It's an 8, transparency, sensitivity, surrender, illumination, and the truth will set you free. Mentally, you're ready to make a clean slate of it. You're ready to say, hey, I'm going to go here. By the way, I was singing a little bit of Jellyfish. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Go look them up, aficionados and music fans. Jellyfish, the band, put out 2 albums. Take a look at Belly Button. You're welcome. Far beyond the forest of flying in paper airplanes, grazing on the grounds of ponytails. The substitute is basking. She's hammering down her fingernails because today's the day that Sabrina builds a box lunch. Physically, you know, I made it through 11 signs before the devil comes out. This is not making a choice. Maybe you were put into a corner. Maybe you were told that you were put in the timeout chair. But it's bringing you somewhere. By the way, the devil, to what's going on with the body, could be an affliction. Could be what you had to kind of overcome, sickness and illness. And then here comes the 9 of Cups. End of cycle. Needed to happen. Spirit's always going to move you to happiness, guys. You do know that. Like, Spirit isn't setting you up for a fall. Spirit isn't saying stand here while their friend sits behind you and they push you and you fall over them. That's not how Spirit works. Spirit says you got to go through this because we got to get you here. Personal accountability and happiness. I'll take it. I just took a poll of all the Pisces. And guess what? We're okay with it. You got to honor thyself. Here comes the elephant. Honor, empathy, responsibility, and cooperation. Maybe there's a partner that can take care of you and you can take care of them. Maybe it's about connecting with a child. Maybe it's about being able to recognize that you're breaking a cycle so they don't have to go through it physically. Don't have to go to every drive-through. It's just the way it is, guys. Listen, the cards don't lie. That's why we work with them. Spiritual journey. All right. Ooh, game changer right here. The World card comes out. All about the cycle. It's so funny, but I did start out talking about the fixed energies. By the way, here they are. Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio. And by the way, before you're like, which one's Scorpio? It's right up here. Scorpio's named for Scorpius, which was a half-bred. Don't get hung up on that. Right? Spiritual guidance. 2 cards pop out. I'm just going to drop them both down. I don't do this too often, but here we go. The Justice card and the Star card. Drop it right here. It's for the greater good. You're going to find your balance through your spiritual gift. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Feeling, awakening, expression, life. You're on a new journey. Pisces, grab onto it. Maybe you stood up to the bully. Maybe you decided to take your own power. And maybe you decided to put out a book. Whatever it is, you grew. You grew, Pisces. This full moon, go grab it. This is your time. I can't believe I'm at the end of my time. I'm trying to keep these to under 45 minutes, guys, and I hope I do a good job. All right, guys, I want to thank you guys for being part of my path here. I'm going to give each other the heart tap to tell one another we care and love for each other. And to simply remind you to just keep going. You're the best, guys. I'll see you soon. Mwah. Love you, Mutables. Did I just say I love you, Mutables? I don't know. How about one of these? And welcome to coming to the seminar. And if you buy this timeshare today, see you guys soon.